If I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down in a blaze of f***ing glory. My video got struck, and I got a strike on the channel, the video taken down, and I cannot live stream. And if I get 2 more strikes, the channel goes away.
Naughty Dog and Sony are not happy. They're not able to take the criticism that comes with The Last of Us Part 2 leaks because they don't want anyone seeing them. And the reason I know they don't want anyone talking about it, you can see right here. My channel now has a copyright strike.
Last night, Sony Interactive and Naughty Dog conspired to, at the very least, threaten to pull my channel down due to my recent Last of Us 2 video.
You know a great way to ensure no one will ever buy The Last of Us Part 2? File false copyright infringement and DMCA claims against everyone talking about how shitty the game is. Great job. You've proved yourselves not only to be assholes, but now you're also breaking the law.
Nerderotic.com.
The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the most anticipated games of the year, and as the release date approached, the unimaginable happened. Something that hasn't happened in the history of time. The plot leaked on Reddit. As you can imagine, Sony and Naughty Dog found themselves in a precarious situation, particularly with Sony, who had never had to deal with something like this before. And yes, I can hear you right now. Sorry, Mr. Nerderotic, you're wrong. There has been precedents for this before. There have been multiple instances of plots leaking on Reddit in the past few years, and it's happened recently in the last 6 months with Doctor Who and Disney Star Wars: The Fall of Skywalker. Hell, the last 4 seasons of Game of Thrones accurately leaked on Reddit, and you'd be right. So what does Sony's irritating Naughty Dog decide to do? Do they publicly go into radio silence and possibly call in some furloughed workers, have some Zoom meetings, maybe consider hiring new focus groups to see if they can tweak the game here and there while not acknowledging any of the spoilers like other franchise owners and intellectual property owners have done in the past with some success? Or do they decide to legitimize the leaks, the spoilers, and a lot of YouTubers, including buying Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers a summer home by false DMCAing YouTubers and attacking and shaming fans? In all seriousness, before we get started, I'm linking a bunch of videos in the description on this subject from my friends. I would like you to please consider subscribing to them and liking and sharing the videos, as well as subscribing here, possibly, if you want to, and liking and sharing the videos as well. It's the only way we can stay competitive against the giant corporations that YouTube is prioritizing on this platform. And quite frankly, it's the only way we can fight back. We can't do this without you. I thank you for your continued support. Now back to the video. The Streisand effect is a social phenomenon that occurs when an attempt to hide, remove, or censor information has the unintended consequence of further publicizing that information, often via the internet. It is named after American entertainer Barbra Streisand, whose attempt to suppress photographs of her residence in Malibu, California, inadvertently drew further attention to it in 2003. Now, the beautiful thing about YouTube is you can watch something like the Barbra Streisand effect happen right before your very eyes in real time. And as I stated in a live stream a couple days ago, I was figuring this would be meme-tacular, and it most certainly is. Now, of course, I cannot talk about the plot leaks from The Last of Us Part 2 because apparently even talking about the leaks and spoilers in a non-specific manner could put your channel at risk of getting a false copyright claim or strike. Now, I can say that I am a fan of golf, but I'm not a fan of violence, especially domestic violence. Additionally, I'm not a fan of sacrificing a beloved character on the altar of agenda, sacrificing these characters for intersectional feminism, identity politics, and political correctness. This might seem like a bit of a theme that's been going on in entertainment for the last couple of years, because it most definitely was. Neil Druckmann says it himself.
So while working on The Last of Us, I had this secret agenda that's becoming less and less secret the more I talk about this stuff.
Neil Druckmann continues that he wants to make the world a better place and inspire young girls, and I'm sure The Last of Us 2 will be the game to do that. Or maybe not. It seems the fans weren't very inspired. As a matter of fact, they were overwhelmingly enraged, and Sony and Naughty Dog did the dumbest thing they could possibly do. They kicked the hornet's nest that is YouTube, and now this thing is going way beyond anything they can control. And as far as that aforementioned Streisand effect, here I am talking about a video game. Now, I have a guideline here. I try not to have too many rules, that I try not to talk about things I haven't read, played, or watched, unless the story is bigger than the TV show, movie, video game, or book. And that is the case here. There is no better way to galvanize YouTubers than have some giant corporation punch down and lash out in the most petty way against independent content creators, individuals who tend to be a little protective of their income, especially in these times, individuals who like to eat, or in some cases, individuals who are parents, and you are taking away their ability to feed their little boys and little girls. Over what? Criticism, the one thing that goes hand in hand with art. You can't have one without the other. Those of us here on YouTube get far more criticism than you do, Neil Druckmann, and we take it because we know it's part of the game. But that is the systematic problem with the corporate content creators these days. Self-important souls who think they're kings and queens over their own little fiefdoms. They're no longer entertainers or creators, they're influencers.
And I felt like with The Last of Us, if we did that, there's an opportunity here to change the industry. And I know that sounds pretentious.
So my friends and co-hosts on Friday Night Tights, Az from Heel vs. Babyface, Ryan from RK Outpost, and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers all received strikes and claims on their videos after they reported on the leaks. Now, that is an abuse of the system, and that is something YouTube needs to take care of, but we know they won't. I understand erring on the side of caution, but there needs to be a faster way to deal with this when companies use a shell company to go out and use predatory practices on independent creators. Now, my good friend Az from Heel vs. Babyface reported yesterday that this third-party company that was striking everyone down is called Muso TNT Limited, and apparently they are a shell company for Naughty Dog and Sony. Why do they have these shell companies? So it makes it very difficult to sue Naughty Dog or Sony. I guess this company is based in India, so it's going to make it that much harder to get through to them. And as reported on yesterday, this third-party company that's striking down multiple YouTubers has a Gmail. Now, our good friend and hero to women, Neil Druckmann, has a bit of a pattern when it comes to criticism from Bounding into Comics. Naughty Dog VP and The Last of Us Part 2 director Neil Druckmann previously fired a sexist focus tester, and this situation doesn't sound made up at all, and it's over Naughty Dog's Uncharted 4. There's a couple of scenes where Nathan gets his ass handed to him by a woman. He went on to confirm that he fired at least one of the focus testers for providing their feedback, to the point where he had to ask a guy to leave in his core. It just affected him. He was cursing. "Not you too, Naughty Dog. God damn it. I guess I'm done with Uncharted. If you ever make another one, this fucking bullshit." Now, far be it from me to accuse fan of Anita Sarkeesian and hero to women everywhere, Neil Druckmann, of making up a scenario to virtue signal. But there's more rumors now. Rumors about Naughty Dog firing dissenters. Recent rumors indicate that Naughty Dog employees are in fear of losing their jobs if they criticize the story for the upcoming The Last of Us Part 2. The speculation is, or was, that this leak came from a former or current disgruntled employee over getting shafted on a bonus, but apparently that has been squashed because Naughty Dog has investigated itself and it has cleared itself of all charges. The rumor did not come from anybody working at Naughty Dog, according to Naughty Dog. Now, you would think that the Access Media would report on this, but they have been eerily silent on this matter. This will be a great opportunity to attack YouTubers, which is their pastime at this point, and call them out for their toxicity. But as far as the Access Media is concerned, until yesterday, when Naughty Dog made the announcement again that they had found the leaker, then we heard from the entire Access Media. All at once. It's almost like they collude. It's almost like it's organized, but I wouldn't want to go out on a limb and accuse them of that or anything. By the way, good job to Memology 101 for putting this together. Please give him a follow on Twitter and check out his YouTube channel. Then we get the old butthurt creator gaslighting a fandom because he's upset about their reaction. He changes his Twitter profile to abuser of characters. And then he does the old, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And if you don't like it, you must be an istanophobe. I completely understand why Sony, Naughty Dog, and the Anita Sarkeesian disciple, Neil Druckmann, is upset over the plots being leaked. I would be too, but you can't unmake the soup and you can't blame the fandom. And once something's out there and once something becomes transformative, and you guys know this, it is fair use. That's what memes are, and they are going to be great. And the only thing you have guaranteed now, Neil Druckmann and Sony and Naughty Dog, is that this is going to be news for the next 2 months, and things are going to be lit here on YouTube in June. Now, obviously, the plot leak wasn't the worst thing. It was how Sony and Naughty Dog acted afterwards. So let's hope that this serves as a valuable lesson for the entertainment industry. The 2016 Ghostbusters marketing technique is coming to an end. It was being soundly rejected prior to the thing that shall not be named. Now, I want to again express my gratitude. I didn't think we'd have anything to talk about during this lockdown, and I couldn't have been more wrong. And did we actually get something dumber than Snowflake and Safe Space? We might have. Fill your stories full of intersectional feminism and woke identity politics at your own peril, entertainment industry. You know, none of this would have happened if the leaks were well received, and none of this would have happened if you didn't try to silence YouTubers. They tend not to like that. So, we will close this video out in their words.
If I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down in a blaze of glory. I am absolutely positively not going to compromise one single bit.
This cannot go unnoticed by Sony, by Naughty Dog. It's unacceptable what they are doing to try to silence people.
In my previous video, I said I wouldn't buy The Last of Us Part 2 until I found out exactly what happened in the game. Because of these shitty antics, now I will never buy the game or anything else published by Naughty Dog, and I suggest all of you do the same. And Sony, just in case you think of flagging this video, I cross-posted it on BitChute, so, from the heart, gargle my nuts.
He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Well, I won't be silenced. I will keep speaking. I will keep putting out videos, and there's not a goddamn thing that you're going to be able to do about it. Feel free to come after me again, and I will sue the living shit out of you. Quite happily.
No? Now you've had enough, bitch.
I've had to go through this third-party copyright claim skullduggery myself with CBS, and I'll say now what I said then. We do not kneel. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. Everyone be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.